Oh my gosh. All right. I will also arrive on YouTube. Yes, that gist was really sweet and it gives context. Every time you learn something, I really love that question. Well done, Dr. Bolu. Every time you learn something, seek to use that thing in a way that it can leave a, you can convert it, you can apply it to whatever it is that's going on. Seek to do that, because if you don't get to do that, it becomes abstract, and you cannot be, it means nothing. It is of none effect. You know, when the Bible says they made the word of God of none effect, it doesn't mean that it wasn't actually happening, right? But it just means that why is this saying this? Can you guys see the video on YouTube? Let me make sure it's saving, because if it is, then we're good. So if you can see, please let me know. All right.
Yes, it's live streaming already.
It's live streaming and you can see me.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Okay. You're welcome to today's class. We started with a bang, which I love because you guys shared your story so honestly, so sincerely. And I'll be referring to the story. Don't worry, I'm trying not to mention your names. I'll be referring to the story, not as a way to, highlight to you, but as a way so that people can see, we can juxtapose what we're learning today against those stories. Essentially, I heard someone ask a question about what emotional intelligence is, right? And it is how we relate with ourselves first. Because some people don't realize that we also have a relationship with ourselves. Then we have a relationship with others, but it begins in ourselves, with ourselves, okay? So what are we learning today? We're learning about emotional intelligence. We'll talk about some overviews. I'll share with you some myths, some affirmations, and there are 4 main constructs of emotional intelligence. We'll talk about that, how to grow your emotional intelligence. And we'll talk about authentic leadership, which is something I've been talking about more recently. When it comes to authentic leadership, I think what a lot of people don't know is that when you are, if you are unable to be your full self, you are compromised. It's just, did you hear what Dr. Grace said? Dr. Grace said, as it was doing me in the inside. Dr. Grace, what did you say? That if I gave it, help me.
I said that if I give it to him the way it's boiling inside me.
So imagine you now have to smile and suppress the real. Do you understand? There's something it does to you, especially if it is not self-initiated, especially if it is a level of suppression, then that's not emotional intelligence. And I stopped this to share with you because the major need of Gen Zs now, which a lot of you are in that generation, and somebody put in the chat for me the age demo, the years of birth of Gen Zs. I think it starts about like 98 or something around that, all the way to 2013. But if you have it, put it in the chat. The major need that they have is to be authentic, is to be genuine, is to be at one with how they feel. Authenticity doesn't mean being good, in quote. It means that this is who I am. I want to show up as that. So we'll talk about how you can be your most authentic in an acceptable and effective way. Again, we're not just trying to be accepted or to belong. We're trying to be effective. We're trying to be able to say, this is what I want to do and be able to do it. This is what I want to communicate and be able to do that. All right, let's get into the myths of today, 97 to 2012. So it's a range, give or take 2 years. And some of you are in this band. 97 to 9 what? 26. So if you're 27, just add yourself because there's no need. You understand? No need. Okay. Now, let us bust our myths of emotional intelligence. And many of you can see now that this is where we actually started. We started by talking about what is this emotional intelligence? I was laughing when Dr. Bolu was saying, hey, I don't really have any personal stories. I'm like, I don't understand. Have you been talking with anybody your whole life? Dr. Bolu, you've never spoken with anyone?
No, I was saying I couldn't figure a
Wow.
story off my head immediately.
Anyway, it is the same. It is not, people think a myth about emotional intelligence. They think maybe it's for women. Maybe it's for people who are really emotional because, you know, they think it is the same as being emotional. It couldn't be farther from the truth. It is not the same as being emotional. In that sense, it is not the same as a display of emotions. And we'll learn about it some more. Another one people say is that it is a soft skill that is not as important as the technical skills. How many of you have heard this? So you go get your degree. Look, who Dr. Grace was talking about is a qualified medical personnel, likely with the title of doctor before his name. Was the person showing emotional intelligence? So on average, those people are at the right end of the bell curve for their age group or for the society. They're pretty smart compared to many other people. Yet you see this lacking so glaringly. And it is because that time that we have taken to master our technical skills, we haven't taken the same time to master. Was someone asking me a question? Okay. So that time we were using to respond to learn our technical skills, master our technical skills, primary 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to secondary school, university, board exams. We did not do that same diligence with our emotional intelligence. And one of the things the father of emotional intelligence, at least the theory of it, the leadership theory of it, Daniel Goleman, one of the things he said was that you learn skills by spaced repetition, well, we all generally know that. But he says this is one thing that is lacking from all your learning. How will you master it? A master class is not enough. Because when you were learning chemistry, you learned some of it from primary school, you got into junior secondary, you did integrated science, and on and on and on. Sorry, you guys, hold on, Dr. Bolu, just step in for a second. My daughter is calling me, okay? 1 second. Dr. Bolu didn't even unmute herself. Okay. All right. I'm right here with you all again. It's real life. Forgive me, please. All right. Another thing, so we don't learn it. We're not given the opportunity to learn it. It is not a part of our curriculum, but those of you who are going to start to build schools, those of you who are teachers already, I hope that you begin to include that as part of your learning. I think in Montessori schools, they do that now. Make allowance for people to learn interpersonal skills, emotional regulation skills, because those are the building blocks of emotional intelligence. And whoever starts early is already ahead of the curve. And those are the people who will be successful in later years, as you will find out. All right, up next, some people think that emotional intelligence is something you're born with and cannot be learned. How many of you have looked at me sometimes like, it's because she can talk. It's because she has many friends. Oh, you know that person is extroverted, that's why. Or some of you, your friends have looked at you like that. You know, they think that, oh, you is because you are the first daughter. It's because you're this. No one is born with it. It can be learned. Some people are definitely more sociable, but that's another thing. We have mistaken emotional intelligence for just the ease of speaking. As we saw in some of the cases that were shared today, it doesn't mean so. Because you might be doing something absolutely wrong, but with the boldest of demeanors. We don't need that. All right. Number 4, it is only important in personal relationships, not professional ones. Let me tell you why we have a lot of marriage crisis. All these marital issues, I want to get married. I'm learning how to communicate. Our problem is communication, better communication. If you ask your friends, they will tell you that this is who you've been since. Because if you had worked out that communication, you have worked it out with your friends, in your place of work, with your siblings, you will know how to handle somebody else. You know how to be effective. So many times we say these things like there are some otherworldly, eclectic things. No, they are something that translates from one situation to the other. It doesn't mean that you adapt. It doesn't mean that you don't have conflict or disagreement. It just speaks to how you personally manage those things. It doesn't change. If you're emotionally intelligent, you're emotionally intelligent. Sometimes you might need to say different words. Sometimes you might need to stay. Sometimes you might need to leave. But always, you will stay true to yourself in consistency and in character. All right. So it's important in all relationships, not only the one where they're paying you or the one you're wearing ring. No. Of course, more stake in the game for your more important relationships, right? But it is equal across board. In fact, it's emotional intelligence you use to test where should I spend more time, more energy, gain more understanding. It is emotional intelligence that dictates that. Okay, the last one, it is a quick fix that can be learned overnight. You know, I attended this emotional intelligence course. You know, I'm pretty emotionally intelligent now. How many of you feel like that? Okay, so tell me from this chat, which of these myths stand out to you? Which of these myths stand out to you like, this is something I used to think was that, but it isn't? Is there anyone that stands out to you? I think for me, the one I've gotten the most is number 3. It is something you are born with and cannot be learned. Yes, Tomi just said that. Especially if you are someone who's trying to build your emotional intelligence. A lot of people say that, and it used to pain, and then emotional intelligence will remind you. It used to pain. And Titi Lokwe says it's the same as being emotional. You know, that is so erroneous. And don't whenever people are speaking about women and they speak about emotions like that, don't let it make you feel less than. Don't make it, actually, they are speaking of us as a more developed species, because the difference between us and animals is that we have emotions. We have the ability to be emotionally intelligent, because if you train a chimpanzee long enough, they will keep increasing in IQ, which is what the rest of the human race has. But that emotional intelligence, you see some elements of it in some mammals like whales, like gorillas, but human beings, our emotional intelligence sets us apart, and women are now superior in that arena. I'm talking broadly, right? I'm talking statistically, so it doesn't mean there are no outliers. Okay, Success says it can be learned overnight. Yes, that's what some people say. Okay, and let me tell you, if you're about to get into a serious relationship, whether it's with a friend or a spouse or dating, or even a leader, someone who's going to be leading you, be sure that this person is doing some development in this area. And that's the last one, right? It's a quick fix that can be learned overnight. If someone isn't involved in any form of learning, I would advise you not to have something to do, not to put that much skin in the game, not in the relationship, but in the fact that this person can hold me up in an emotional setting. No, remove that from there, because they are not building that capacity. Okay, so this is where we'll be focused on today. We're talking about the 4 constructs that make emotional intelligence. What is this thing? We know what IQ is. We talk about spatial intelligence. We talk about quantitative and qualitative analysis. All of those things make up IQ. But when it comes to EQ, we have four major constructs, and that is number one, self-awareness. Number two, self-regulation, social awareness, and number four, relationship management. Sometimes some people call it empathy, right? These are the four major constructs of emotional intelligence in some way, shape, or form. And how do these things appear? How do they work? Well, let's take the first, self-awareness, because if you don't have this self-awareness part and you have, for example, relationship management, you're entering the territory of manipulation. You're entering the territory of some certain levels of psychopathy. That's not where you want to be. You want to start with yourself. What is my relationship with myself? Are you able to, number one, recognize your emotions? Are you able to recognize your emotions? Do you know your strengths? Are you able to manage your behavior? Say, I want to do this thing. So you're like, okay, yes, I'm going to do this thing without extra prodding, pulling, or somebody else, having to push you. And the last one, are you able to understand perception? Are you able to perceive something and be like, okay, yeah, this is what is being communicated to me. And I see it for the words that are communicated to me. I can decipher a situation. So let's start with recognizing emotion. How many words do you have for your emotions? How many words? Apart from I'm happy, I'm sad, tell me some other things that you felt this week. Put it in the chat. What are some other ways you have felt this week? Just words. You felt vulnerable, you felt disgusted, disappointed, overwhelmed, paranoid, overwhelmed, scared. Scared is different from afraid. You see, confused. Confused is different from stuck, for example. You see, unsure. Unsure is different from insecure. Hurt. Hurt is different from harmed. You can be hurt if whether someone means something or doesn't mean something, but you can be inadvertently hurt. But harmed means that somebody came after you. Happy. A situation can bring it, or a thought can bring happiness. Anxious. You see that? There's a difference between feeling anxious, because that's a temporary feeling, and being depressed or being neurotic, where you are in a perpetual state of anxiety. It is important to be able to name your emotions. Not, I just feel bad, I just feel bad, I just feel happy, I just feel happy. No, name your emotions. Be articulate enough to say, what is this churning in my stomach that I'm feeling? What is it? And you drill into it and identify what that thing is. What is that thing? What is that thing? As you start going into it, you will now start to say, okay, yeah, I feel hurt because I expected better from this person. Maybe I already confided in them, but the way they just exposed what I told them. You're able to name the thing so that when you are addressing the situation, it is not the animalistic instinct of lashing out. You see, you have evolved to a level where you're able to operate at your actual ability level to address what needs to be addressed. This is why sometimes when people say, that thing, I don't like it, I don't like it, they tell you sorry is not enough. Because you know that's not really what you're trying to address. Yet, you don't also know what you need. Do you see that? Do you know your strengths? So you can see from this one, you can see emotion doesn't always mean happy or sad. Leave that spectrum of good and bad. There is a wide range of emotions. And I'll talk to you about a book called Atlas of the Heart, because that is a great book that has It helps you name your emotions, okay? Then know your strengths. You guys, I've told you, put in the chat, you're about to beg Coach Tombra for your identity session. Ask Dr. Bolu and Lady Tominson, tell them that when are you scheduling our model mentor to come and take us on identity? Because I want to know my strengths, because I want to play to them. I don't want to stay in the area of my weakness just because everybody thinks that's the best way to go. No, I want to grab a hold of my strengths, polish them into pearls. So I've told you the two people that are standing in your way of your identity manifesto. Later in the group, you can get with them. All right. Do you know how to manage your own behavior? How many times have you felt powerless? I've been trying to change this thing. I don't know why I keep doing this. Whenever I'm angry, I just lose my mind. You see how, Dr. Grace, I'm sorry, today, if you knew it, probably you wouldn't have said that story. Okay. You see how she went to the restroom, she was able to remove herself and say, let me go on, because what was about to come out was not was not godly righteousness at that point. But you're able to manage your behavior. Sometimes it's not just about addressing issues. It might be that you have an exam looming and you are not studying for it. And you paid hundreds of thousands of naira or dollars. And you are even complaining. I don't know why I'm not doing this thing. Oh, hey, who will help me? You've been saying you will write that book, you will start that NGO, you will go to that school. You are not able to manage your own self as a manager of your own life, not to talk of someone else. You find yourself, sometimes you watch yourself and you are like, the behavior you are behaving, you are watching yourself like film, like, is it possible that you are the one behaving like this? Yet, it's like film at that point. Everybody knows you. When you get to that point, there's no dialing back, there's no pulling back. That is what we talk about, managing behavior. Managing behavior. Able to dial back. Able to know when you are getting to extremes. In fact, somebody said the other day, there is no emotion we were supposed to hold perpetually. He says some people are too joyous and they get into trouble. Yeah, in that perpetual state. So you even go to the house of mourning and you are the one shouting, no, this is not anything to worry about. Just be joyful. Like, what's going on? And the last one is understanding and perception. You're able to judge rightly. You're able to discern. Your intuition is working. I don't mean your suspicion is working. I mean your intuition is working. Tominson, tell your inner voice that she should speak to you in the voice of people. Tell me some of the kindest people in the world. Tell your inner voice to speak to you like Pope John Paul or something like that. Tell your inner voice, you can't be bullying me like that. She said her inner voice is telling her, I think you can hear. My inner voice speaks to me, I'm like, what? Why so rude? Get another voice, get a British accent or something and be super nice to me. So that I will say, oh, Lady Tominson, just coming to remind you of the things that you have been mulling over. It's better like that. Yes. Replace, because you see, this is where some of these things come from. And by the time we're speaking, sometimes when people speak, I can hear their inner voice because that's just what you're amplifying. So even when you're describing yourself, if you're being super kind or you're being super rude or something, I'm just like, is that what your inner voice sounds like, right? So be inside where you can control. You can't be seizing your phone now inside your body. Those of you who were not here for the story, I'm sorry. This seizing of phone is going to keep going for a while, okay? All right, so the next one is self-regulation. Because if you notice, this top two is what? What's the first word you are seeing here? Self. S-E-L-F. Before we start dealing with anyone else, is ourself, self. So we want to manage impulses. Manage impulses. Are you able? Like now, if I were Dr. Grace, at the instance of the season of my phone, I want to carry someone and put them through the window. It's an impulse. So next time you see an impulse, don't say, oh my gosh, how could you think like that? It's an impulse. In fact, sometimes I think stuff like that and I just smile because it's an impulse. I don't have to give in to every animalistic impulse that comes to me. You see a guy, you're like, this guy looks nice, so I can even see the babies we can make. We'll look so cute together. It doesn't mean you follow him home at night. It's an impulse. Is today's session for Tommy said. Tommy said, I told you that the inner voice. Stop calling the name of my Lord in vain. He's not the one that asked you to be spending. Managing impulses. I like that blue jeans. I can never understand why anybody has more than 3 blue jeans. Pencil, all of them. The same dark shade. I do not understand it. We can have one shredded one pencil one bell bottoms. In fact, you can see there are many styles you can have, but I don't get it. Or somebody talks to you a certain way. You can't hold yourself. Maybe your best friend came and told you that, see what this other person did to me. You have now carried the beef. You see the person tomorrow, you can't be civil. Why? Managing impulses. Managing impulses. Maintaining control. Hey. Somebody tell me, when was the last time you lost control? Don't put it in the chat. Don't worry, I won't mention your name. Put it in the chat. When was the last time you're like, no, I really lost control? And again, remember, this is not only anger. There are many other areas of our lives, right? Someone mentioned spending. Somebody mentioned, maybe anger or incessant crying, or you are doing something for somebody. You hate the fact that you're giving, but you cannot stop yourself because you're a people pleaser. Or you are people pleasing, because let me not identify you by what you're not, because you're not that. Oversharing. My God. You know when you are gossiping, and it's like you want to stop. You know that you want to stop. You're like, I've probably gone too far. But it's a gist. And gist normally has to get to the end. Maybe later you go and repent. But right now in the middle of the gist, when the counsel came to you, it's too hard. That's maintaining control. Do you know I would respect someone who stops midway and say, maybe I shouldn't say that. It annoys me when preachers do that though. Have you seen all those preachers? They'll be like, I wanted to say something, but let me not say. It's like, you could have controlled it from inside your belly since. Why did you say it on the mic? But I honor them for at least stopping there, right? It's better you stop midway. It's better you stop inside, or it's best you stop inside. But yes, if you have not come out, it's good. Stop anywhere you are. It's better, okay? Practice patience. Are you able to practice patience? Don't look at other people only. Your own self. Are you able to practice patience for yourself? While I'm working on this thing, let me tell you one thing that used to have me with patience, right? I eat mostly vegetables, but I eat a lot. But I eat mostly vegetables. So that's kind of how I balance it. Let me not say I eat a lot. I eat more than the average person. Not all this Timmy and talk about them that are eating, when they eat one chicken, they'll be like, oh my gosh, I didn't even touch the rice. What am I going to do? Okay, but when I would be eating or be on this, side, I would not notice that when I step on the scale tomorrow, after I've been doing this workout and all these things, and I don't see any drop in this. I'm like, what are we doing this for? It used to make me so impatient. Confess your own in the chat. Don't worry, Tommy said, as you are mastering emotional intelligence, you will know what is enablement. Remember what I said with the situation at the hospital, right? Where Dr. Grace was referring to. And I said, I would have been patient in the moment because there's no gain to be had in that moment. But I will then be patient with the process of escalation, because to say nothing, to do nothing is part of the enablement, especially if something is a danger to you. So you just stay in that area and say, let me be patient one day. So I would say patience is when there is an action to correct things. There's an action for progress. Then you be patient with that process. Enablement is when you have the ability to do something about the situation and you decide not to do something about the situation. Not saying, of course, that some situations might not end up being futile. Like, how many of you have heard the when Governor Peter Obi wanted to go to court? So many people are like, why are you going to court? You have already lost. They have already even sworn in this place. Just leave it. That's enablement. To just leave it would be enablement. And I will explain. Someone is going through a process of a court system. Now he is being patient. He's not saying, no, May 29 can't happen because our case is in the court. He's not saying that. He has to be patient with the process. But just being patient and saying, one day I'll be vindicated without ever going to court, that's enablement, okay? All right, let's start entering relationship management. I believe we are all in relationships. Say I'm in a relationship, wherever you are. Say it, I don't care whether you're married, you have a significant other. We all are in relationships. And we need you to be better people in the relationships which you are in. The whole world needs you to be better. Remember what I started with. We don't wait till we're getting married or we're working in this multinational to begin to work on our relationship skills. We start from where we are now, okay? This is the space of honor. This is the space of empathy. This is the space of understanding. So this is the active, right? The doing part of it. When we go to social awareness, we'll talk about how you interact with your world in general. But relationship management is the doing part, okay? Is the doing part. So do you communicate effectively? Effective communication is that thing that is inside you that you want to convey, you are able to translate it into words. Remember those emotions we spoke about? You're able to not only know those your strengths and recognize emotions, but hopefully come out with a goal, come out with a decision, a plan for it. Now we're in the space of communicating effectively. I don't mean frowning when you're not happy and hoping that your face carries your emotion, no. Or that by laughing, you're like, hey, why are you asking me if I'm upset? Can't you see my smile? No, I mean effective communication. Hey, this is what is going on. This is what I would love for you to do. Not commanding either, but being able. This one here is like a 9-month course. Effective communication. But if the person doesn't yet get what you are saying, the essence of what you are saying, sometimes effective communication means reiterating. It doesn't mean concluding the person doesn't want to. And in a case where the person doesn't want to, it doesn't mean you haven't effectively communicated. It just means sometimes that's what it is. The person does not want to what? Effectively communicate. So in this effective communication is also the ability to also listen and understand others. It's like I'm even taking these two bottom side together. So let's be doing it together. Okay. And thank you. I'm seeing the people that are engaging in the chat. Meanwhile, I know the rest of you are thinking thoughts. Put it in the chat. Let's all share together. Shebi, I've also put myself on the, I've also told my own story. So feel free, tell your stories, okay? This is a safe place. This is a place to be vulnerable. All right. So provide feedback. That's another one. Are you able to provide feedback? Some of us, we have dossiers on our friends. We have it, what they did in 2013 and they repeated in 2016 and on and on and on. Yet not once have we provided feedback. not once have we provided feedback. We have an employee who is doing something the wrong way. We don't say anything. And then one day we just send them you're fired from this organization letter. Do you see that? That's not giving feedback. That's not feedback. That is cutting off. Okay? So feedback is something you owe. This is not a, would you like to know? You owe it to the people in your life to give them feedback. You owe it to them. Feedback is not critical. In fact, let me tell you the truth. If you are someone who knows that you must give feedback, you need to understand something called the emotional bank account. Somebody put it in the chat. The emotional bank account is a place where you go and store good things, validation, affirmations, understanding, so that the day you come with a feedback, you are supposed to match one feedback to 3 of these other positive things. Again, remember, even feedback can be positive. Don't wait till only that when there's a problem before you give feedback. Hey, I really like the way you spoke at this. It was really good. It helped me see this, that. You are storing it because one constructive criticism has to match at least 3, right, of them. Yeah, and I'm seeing the questions in the chat. I'll be coming to them as I'm going. How can you respectfully give feedback to a senior colleague or one's boss? Hopefully, if you are in a decent company, you have a feedback process. And if you are in such an organization that there is no formal route for feedback, I want to beg you, we are here as who? What's the name of this mentorship program? Somebody tell me what our name is. What's the name of this mentorship program? I'm waiting.
Leading Lady.
The leading lady. Thank you, Lady Margaret. It is the lady that is under the spotlight. It is a lady that takes up the mantle of leadership. It is the lady that steps up to the podium. You were not made for those kind of organizations that are at the backside of civilization and that refuse to grow. So it's either you institute that feedback system. There are many ways to do it. Go on, you can get Microsoft 360. You can get simple paper system. It does not matter how it is. But you cannot be in an organization where there's not such a template, a process that can be utilized to provide feedback. If there is none, build one. If they refuse for you to build one, begin to count your time. Was that very clear? I will move on to you guys say it was clear. If it's not clear, let me explain again. You get what I just said? Ayomiko said, yes, ma'am. Okay. So you are leaders. You are people who set the pace. And this is what I hope that you get out of here, that you don't go and become one of the crowd. In as much as you belong to any organization, to any group, I want you to know that you are set apart, set aside as a servant leader. You set the pace, you carry the burden, you infuse excellence, you bring standards, you elevate the organization. You don't go and meld into the mediocrity that currently is there. That's something that you should do. As excellent as I think I am, if you encounter me, I expect for me to be improved because you came near me, because you came with yours. So imagine both of us, we now raise to both our powers. And remember, we are not a fraction. That means ultimately we should be increasing as we are interacting with each other mathematically in equations, exponentially. Do you now think we should be less? No. We can't come and be less. No. All right. Manage conflict, motivate others, the ability to motivate others. And then social awareness. Social awareness. Isn't it amazing how many people do not have this simple thing? The people that do not have social awareness are the people who say, oh, you're from that tribe. Those people, they don't know how to marry. Oh, those people, they don't know how to talk. Those people, yeah. It is a complete lack of social awareness. You look at the whole country and you say, those people that are just after this, okay, do you know anybody in that country? Have you related with anybody? No. But you whitewash them with just a paint. That's not an emotionally intelligent statement. And when I say you, sorry, I'm talking about the you that's outside, a hypothetical you, not my leading ladies. It's not you. Okay, do you practice empathy, understanding? Let me tell you something. My ability to be empathetic is actually shocking me these days because I have such, and empathy is what leads to compassion, but don't think empathy is compassion. Empathy is the ability for you to understand someone else's perspective, for you to step into their shoes and look through their lenses and say, oh, okay, you're wearing these green tinted lenses so you can see. The problem, it's not a problem. The issue with my own is that when I look through your lenses and I see with empathy, I want to evolve things. I'm like, okay, now that we have located where we are, can we move? Okay, but some of you bring something else. You bring compassion. You stay with people in the moment. You see, this is where our uniqueness now comes to play. But the basic requirement is this empathy, that you are able to be empathetic. And then beyond there, you now bring your unique strengths to play in those spaces. I can let someone go from my organization from an empathetic place. I understand what you're going through, where you're coming from, why you haven't been able to either evolve or meet the needs of the organizations, or that you are going to your next level and a break with my organization is needed for you to be able to go get those skills that you need, or maybe it's just the path you're wanting to go in. So it doesn't mean once you and someone are not together again, completely no, that it doesn't mean you can still practice empathy, respect diversity, respect it, teach it to your children, honor it amongst yourself. Don't be that person who say, oh, women, all these men. That's just a type of diversity, but like someone is different than you, everyone is talking in this vein. That's what caused problem in Lagos now. Oh, you are this tribe, you are this tribe, you are this thing, you are. People were not really respectful of diversity, but words that people could never say in the faces of someone else, some would say behind their backs. That's not emotional intelligence. Look, some people now don't even say it, but in their minds, they feel it. Some of you know your parents and your grandparents. You know the deep prejudices they carried. That's not being emotionally intelligent, because you want to relate with your society from a place of intelligence. You want to be able to see individuals for who they uniquely are. And the final one, build community. We are in a community today. You see Lady Yewande come into the group, driving the book reviews, engaging you in communication, trying to get, do you understand? That's building community. It takes communication to do that. You saw Lady Thomason the other day, she did an Ask Lady Thomason. You see Dr. Bolu all the time around, and you Yale. What are they doing in the group today? I'm just reading. I'm just a waka pass, so I just look and pass. Somebody read the expression on my face, please. What is this expression? It takes emotional intelligence to build community. If you belong to a community, count. If I'm in any room and I walk out, it won't take you 5 minutes to notice, because I count, because my impression will be in that room. It's not because I'm the loudest, right? And you can start to talk yourself up like that, even from here. Hey, Karina, what would you like? What do you want? Yes, you can. When I'm with the leading ladies, anything they want, yes. Yes, just say that. That takes emotional intelligence too. Because I can't stand up from here now and go and be, what can I do? What can I handle in the moment? Okay, you need an extra cookie, take it. Tomorrow is another day when I'll be looking at you face to face and I can say no. But for now, this is where we are. Are you learning something? Are you learning something? Which of these areas do you see that, there's something I can learn? There's somewhere I can learn from. Yes. Yeah, okay. If you haven't, go ahead and take a screenshot about of this, and I'll go to the affirmations. And as we go to the affirmations, again, I want you to, this is what you can do. So I talk about having the strategies. I don't know how much we can get through in this class because I've kept you guys for a little bit. Anu, if you can move my next meeting by about 30 minutes, I would appreciate it. Yes. So when it comes to self-awareness, these are some things you can do. What can you begin to do? And I don't like, I'm not of the school of thought where you have to tell people do this and do that, except maybe it's for health. Even for health, people can choose. You know, I saw the other day, someone was choosing to be paralyzed because they say in their minds and in their hearts, they are paralyzed people. It's a choice. Think that is crazy, say that is crazy, and that's that person's choice, and they get to live with their choices. So this is why I put it in this question form. Now, you are looking at these different things. For self-awareness, these are the major things. If you look at these questions here, right, there are these outlines here, like managing, recognizing emotions, it actually is this emotional self-awareness. But I didn't want to use highfalutin, high-sounding words so that you could get it at a grasp. But this is the actual intellectual sub-construct of the construct of self-awareness. Emotional self-awareness, how often do you take time to reflect on your emotions and the impact of your behavior? Someone just mentioned journaling here. If you haven't been doing it, journaling or reflecting, you won't know next time to be prepared for it. Again, remember, this is a skill that takes honing, that takes practice, that takes learning, rehearsing to be able to master. You won't just hear this and eventually just appear somewhere like, oh, I got this down. No, it'll take that process of regurgitating, relearning, applying and remarking, self-assessment to be able to get here, okay? Accurate self-assessment. Have you ever seen someone and say, me, I'm a very, very quiet person, because me, there's a way I do things. And you're looking at the person like, I'm sorry, who are you describing? Because I'm not recognizing you in this statement. But it's possible some people are not able to assess themselves. And these are the people I really, really suggest for everybody though, personality tests and things like that, because when you're answering the question, you don't know where you're going normally, especially if it's really well done. So be very honest. When you're taking personality assessments, there's nothing worse than taking personality assessment with a fake self. What a travesty. Who is marking you? It's not someone else's score, it's yours. It's for your reflection. So when you are responding to those questions, don't pretend like you are the best version of who you see in your head. No, answer the way you are behaving in that moment. Okay? Self-confidence. How confident are you in your ability to handle difficult situations? So my boss, she always calls me when there's a really toxic or like really can't, just people are disagreeing, she calls me in there because I bring calm. Last. Let me use our Nigerian phrase. Is it not work we came to? Is somebody getting divorced? No. Are we going to behead somebody? No. It's work, let's settle down. We can resolve this. So I always bring that element in. I'm able to listen to the different people and I'm able to confidently handle it. Yes, we can end with, we agree to disagree, we still hug. So how confident are you in your ability to handle difficult situations? I remember when I was on campus, I used to be scared of being alone. Even I had an accommodation, right? But I had so many, it's not today as I'm mentoring people. From year 3, I had many year 1 young ladies or people in basic, like prelim, that would stay with me They will stay with Sister Bralade there all the time. You could come to my place. I had 6 sisters in my room, and I'm the only one in the room, or that her name is on the room, right? But I remember then, one day, everybody had gone, and I was alone. Then as I carrying my bag, I'm going home. I was going to go into the city to go stay with my parents. And that was the day I asked myself, like, wow, for how long though? And I faced myself in the mirror and I said, I'm going to begin to work on myself so that I'm not jumpy and I'm not fearful. Today, some of you are here, you know there's some things that you are still unable to face. You're unable to look at your bank account because you're afraid at actually facing up to this thing and resolving it. You know that every time you and your sister get together and talk, you fight like cat and mouse. You don't want to face up to this thing. Begin to do it. Begin to do it. Begin to be in that place where you can be like, this is something I have to handle. And that was when I decided within myself that I wasn't going to be jumpy. If somebody let them say, oh, something's happening behind me. You know that thing where everybody will just start running and you two will join. I don't run, no. Let the thing come and catch me. Where will I go to? I'll go to heaven. I don't run. I walk like a king. I will walk like a king. Because it's a training I subjected myself to. Maybe except the police is shepherding us and saying you have to live here. Or maybe if I have children. But if somebody screams behind me, I do mean, what is it? What is it? Hey, what's going on? No. Especially if you're a mom. Don't be that jumpy. You're inculcating fear into the children. Don't be that. Okay. And the final one, how often do you seek feedback from others? Seek feedback, not from complaining people, judgmental people, balanced people. This is why you need healthy people around you. Seek feedback. Meet a lady in this group and say, please, I want you to give me feedback. How have I been doing? And when we reach out to you guys in the group to ask for feedback, please give us feedback. It'll help us be better. Don't feel like, oh, if you say, oh, everything is just wonderful, it makes us feel any better. No. Whether or not you say, hey, we are currently doing 40%, we could increase to 80% by this, I can take it. Because this is not who I am. This is why we talk about search for significance, because you've already accepted yourself as who you are. So whatever feedback somebody is giving to you, or you are not trying to get better so that you can be a better person. No, you're already accepted and beloved. But you're just working it out, okay? All right. Self-awareness. Look, we'll stop at this one. And then beyond here, you guys can do the rest. Are we okay with that? Because I gave strategies for each one and I gave affirmations for each one. Nobody's begging me. Okay, it's okay. We can stop here. All right. Let's take this. Let's take this affirmations together. We'll take at least 2. So can you unmute yourself? Because we are going to take it together. These are the things I want you to infuse your space, yourself, everything with while you are working in this area. Self-awareness. All right. Who is unmuting with me? Nobody has unmuted with me so far. Go ahead and unmute. All right. First one to go. I am in tune with my emotions and use them to make better decisions and lead with purpose and authenticity. Woo! I love that one. We'll go on to the next. By acknowledging and embracing my strengths and weaknesses, I am able to show up as my best self and lead with confidence and humility. Wow, look at that. Okay, let's do number 3. I take time for self-reflection and self-care, which helps me maintain balance, resilience, and mental clarity. Okay, number 4. By being fully present and engaged with others, I create deeper connections and build stronger relationships. And the last one, by using my emotional intelligence to cultivate spiritual awareness, I am able to tap into my inner wisdom and intuition to guide my leadership journey. How did that feel? How did that feel? Okay. What's my time now? 2:11. Okay. This is the one I put aside for self-regulation, okay? How well do you manage your emotions in high-pressure situations? How honest, this transparency part, how honest are you with yourself and others? Honesty. I didn't say, what do you call it, oversharing, but honest, that is, you did not lie. When they asked you, you were able to say, I'm not pleased with this thing. However, but you are able to be honest. From the get-go, you are able to be honest. You're not lying, whether to yourself or to others, right? Adaptability, how well do you adjust to changes? Change some things, some people cannot adapt again. This is how we used to do it when we're using the last software. This thing, they have changed this software 1 year. We have changed. No resilience, no adaptability. No, we're not those people. I liked year 2 because my favorite lecturers were in year 2. Now these lecturers are unable to adapt, right? Achievement orientation. I'm achievement oriented. I am. Because when I set a goal, it comes from within, it comes from heaven. So I already know this is not, something that I'm just doing so that I can feel, no, I can do this thing. I have self-efficacy. We read in A Tale of Two Wives how you have personal agency. So if you say, you know what, I want to do this thing, you can actually do it, bring it to fruition. So how committed are you to achieving your goals, even in the face of obstacles? And remember, self-awareness again and self-regulation. Remember all those things working together, because for you to have done your goals, you already know your strengths. You already know your partners. You already know all those things. So it's like, yeah, I can. And these are some resources that you can go read so that you can do the things talked about here, right? Deep Work, Essentialism. This is such a good book in growth mindset. Who's ready for some affirmations? Where are my affirmers? Can you unmute?
We are here.
Okay. So 1, 2, go. I maintain self-control and discipline, which helps me make rational decisions and stay focused on what is most important. Number 2, by embracing a growth mindset, I view challenges as opportunities to learn, to grow, and to innovate. By practicing mindfulness and emotional regulation, I am able to manage stress and avoid burnout, which allows me to show up as my best self for my team. Are you affirming? Because we are not just reading, we are doing something to our souls, because our souls are divine. There is no limit to what they can accomplish. There's no limit to their expressions, who they can be. So when you are saying these things, don't think, oh, let me say it till I become it. No, you're already it. It's just to manifest it, because you're already it. Okay. Number 4, by setting healthy boundaries and prioritizing self-care, I am able to balance my work and personal life, which allows me to be more present and effective as a leader. Number 5, by cultivating emotional intelligence, I am able to regulate my thoughts, my feelings, my behaviors in a way that aligns with my values and purpose. I don't behave anyhow. I already know what my purpose is. You know, there were some fights that someone like Ngozi Okonjo probably could have been engaged in, and she remembered that, oh, the life I'm living is for World Health Organization, for World Trade Center, right? Or, people like Dora, I'm fighting a whole criminal industry. We are not yet playing about small things. When you look at things like that, you start to see that no, I'm quite different. So there's a way I will regulate my thoughts. I will regulate how I feel and how I behave because I'm aligned. Social awareness. Remember what we talked about? How well do we understand the emotions of others? And do we respond appropriately? Organizational. You might be in an organization and the tendency might be for you to say, hey, I don't know those people so well, let me stay in this corner. It might be your church, it might be your place of worship, it might be your place of working, wherever it is. How well do you understand the culture and the politics of your organization? The politics of your organization really is just relationship capital. Do you understand how it is people operate in this space? Service orientation. And these are questions for you to leave here and go journal about. They're not just for you to ask yourself. If you get tired of writing, you can speak it into your phone, almost as a voice note. Okay? How often do you seek to meet the needs of others, even when it may not be directly related to your work? This one bothers me, especially in this generation. Your willingness to be there for others. Do you know sometimes you can even be tired if it's for you, but if somebody needs you, you can put your skin in the game to say, hey, this thing that this person is doing actually leads to the overall success of our organization. It will eventually benefit me if this person is successful. And then you go lend a hand. Of course, to the best of your ability, right? Not to burn out, but to do what you can to help. Okay, commit yourself to service. Well, that's one of the theories, leadership theories we'll be learning, servant leadership. There's a lot that underpins that theory. And the fourth one, overall, how well do you pick up on the emotions and moods of others in a group setting? How well? Can you read a room? Can you be like, okay, I see you there. I know how to handle you. So Dr. Grace, from her experience, she was able to pick up on, the mood in that room. Even though it was not palatable, she was able to pick it up. So some resources for you, again, Team of Teams, that's so good. It's by a general, but he was talking about how do we bridge the gap between organizations and Atlas of the Heart. Okay, we're almost there. Now let's go. You can unmute, want to go. Again, say it with energy. By practicing empathy and active listening, I am able to connect with others on a deeper level, which allows me to build trust and foster a sense of belonging and community. I want you to be this person in our group, someone who fosters a sense of belonging and community. All right, number 2. By seeking to understand diverse perspectives and experiences, I am able to promote inclusivity, equity, and social justice in my leadership practices. Remember that thing we're talking about, what I will do after regulating myself, right? Remember that? Yeah. We can now, based on we have been able to lead ourselves, we can now lead others. Number 3, by being culturally competent and aware, I am able to create a workplace that values diversity, which leads to innovation, creativity, and better decision making. And this might be a family for you, it might be a class for you, it may be whatever it is, a church for you, and not in the Waibu or Omoibu. Or what are those things we say? Ching chong. Those really, it's so bad. Don't be one of those people, please. No, it's not good. Okay, number 4. By being present and mindful, I am able to show authenticity and vulnerability, which creates a safe and supportive environment for my team. And finally, by using my emotional intelligence to understand the emotions and needs of others, I create a workplace that prioritizes the well-being and growth of all team members.
all team members.
Wow. You all are awesome. And finally, relationship management. Are you involved in developing others? Don't be somebody that is only you for you, with you, and by you. No. How well do you provide feedback? How well do you provide support to help others develop their skills and abilities? Remember, this is in both sides. If someone is getting something, subpar, or if they're doing excellent, you still provide this feedback, you provide support, right, for them to develop their skills. Inspirational leadership. How well do you inspire and motivate others towards shared goals? How well? How well do you use your social capital to persuade others and gain support for your ideas? This is influence. Using social capital. Since you have been nice to Chisom. Chisom, your hair is looking so nice today. Chisom, I just wanted to check on you. You were not at the review. Chisom, how are you doing today? I just thought about you. I just wanted to leave you with this quote by Maya Angelou. This is how you will be talking with Chisom. Or the day you come and say, Chisom, you work at this place, right? Could you introduce me to this person, that person? Or Chisom, would you come speak on my platform? Chisom is like, when can we go? Because you already have social capital with her. You see? And this is not a forced thing to say, let me be timing Chisom. After the third one, I'll ask. No, that's just how you live your life. Wherever you go, you leave something of you there. It's a seed. Bible says, cast your bread upon many waters. People think it's just giving money or giving. No, it is a relationship as well. Leave people with something that even them, they'll be like, I'm looking for her to bless you. It's you that will now have to start thinking, don't worry, I'll let you know one day. And if you are ever in need, oh my God, blessed are you. The way people will rush you to help, even you'll be like, it's okay. I don't even need that. I was so blessed by Pastor Nathaniel Bassi when this year, he started saying nobody needs to give anymore because they already have more than enough. You see, you already have more than enough, but that's social capital because he was giving. People are like, how can we bless you? That is how the leading lady lives. And the final one, conflict management. Conflict is inevitable. If you ever thought I live my life in a way that, oh, no conflict, no, it's inevitable. And how well do you manage them? It doesn't mean you will agree eventually with the person, but how well do you also resolve disagreements with others? And for this, I would still recommend Boundaries, the books. There's dating, there's in leadership, there's in families, there's boundaries for a lot of things, okay? All right, so we'll take this now, and we'll conclude today. All right, relationship management. 1, 2, go. Number 1, by communicating effectively and empathetically, I build strong relationships with my team, and I inspire them to achieve their goals. Number 2, by providing constructive feedback and coaching, I support the growth and development of my team members, which leads to higher levels of engagement and job satisfaction. You can put your friends there, you can put your family there, you can put anybody you are doing anything with here, including your spouse, you can put here, okay? Number 3, by being a skilled negotiator and conflict manager, I maintain a positive work environment, life environment, and prevent unnecessary stress and tension. No, we are not doing stress, my sisters. Are we doing stress? No. All right, number 4, by inspiring and motivating my team, I foster a culture of creativity, innovation, and continuous improvement. There's something scratchy. I don't know where it's from. If it's from Dr. Bolu or... Okay, I think it's Damilola. Okay. All right. Let's go. The final one. By creating a workplace
By
that
creating a
values
workplace that
the
values the
well-being and growth of all
well-being
team
and growth of
members,
all
I
team members,
attract
I
and
think
retain top
and
talent.
retain top
Or you can say,
talent.
I attract and retain the best friends. I
I
attract and
attract and
retain
retain the
the
best
best team
people.
members in
I
my
attract
church, in
and
my
retain the
work
best
team, in
team
my school
members.
team. I attract and retain them.
I attract and
And this leads
retain
to
them.
increased productivity,
Lead to
profitability,
increased
and
productivity,
success.
profitability, and
Woo!
success.
How's that feel? How's that feel? All right, I'll just take feedback from 3 people and we can wrap this up. How is that? How's that for you?
Oh my God.
Over to you, Dr. B.
Yes, ma'am. It was such an
Yeah.
insightful session on emotional intelligence. Wow. Thank you so much, Ma. I love that there were affirmations that brought us the realization of those things, because we can learn and yet not retain them, like bring them into our reality. Just as you said when we started, when you were talking about the stories and how that we should have something to be able to retain them. In fact, I screenshotted everything and I'm going to send them to the group. Thank you so much,
Instead
man.
of
So I would
just
like you to
asking
just
for
drop.
the slides, you know, this screenshot. Okay, it's okay.
Okay, wow,
That's
that's
fine.
all right. Please just drop one thing you learned today in this conversation, because this conversation is something that it's really powerful, especially the myths that you started with. Oh my God, that was like the icebreaker for me. Because many of us have these thoughts subconsciously, right? Like that's really first of all set a pace for me to just want to know more, learn more, become more self-aware, know how to manage relationships well, and just know how to balance my relationship and emotions. So those myths were really profound for me. So if you have any highlights from today's session, please just drop it quickly so we can wrap up. Okay, Lady Tobinsi has downloaded the Atlas of Art book and she starts reading it. So many things resonated with us tonight. Yes. You know, when Mrs. B recommended the Atlas of Arts, that was when she asked us the question on we describing how we felt. Many of us could have easily said, I'm happy or I'm sad, like those vague words like that we use every day. I'm fine.
Every single day.
And words started pouring out. In fact, what struck me the most, Ma, was when I saw someone said, I felt happy and I felt hot. And I'm like, how did you find the balance? So emotional intelligence is such a deep topic. And thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much. Please drop your comments, shower Mrs. B with your love. We've learned so much. In fact, this could have been a paid session. And yes, you would have paid if you saw the flyer and saw masterclass on emotional
Oh,
intelligence.
yeah. And it is
Yes,
paid,
you would have.
the fact that it's not from your pocket, it doesn't mean it's not paid. It is paid. When I
Yes.
wanted to begin a PhD, one of the things I wanted to do was to learn something that I could impart to others, right? I could impart to help enable others to do what they technically trained for and do more. So what made me want to do leadership theories or leadership studies is that these things, they have been scientifically proven to work, to enable organizations to have healthier bodies, minds, improve mental health, improve team dynamics. So I'm like, yeah, if this thing has been proven and it's when everybody's of the same IQ, this is the difference maker. In fact, this is the difference maker over people of higher IQ than you want to be. Okay.
Yes.
So maybe just take maybe 2 people, what they learned today, and let's call it 9th.
And 9th. Okay. All right. I can see Oluwadam Lola's comment. She said the affirmation helped me to bring clarity to how EQ play out. Wow. Yeah, we could clearly see what EQ was about via those affirmation, from the affirmation on self-awareness, self-regulation, social awareness, relationship management. I hope you took notes. I hope you learned, like, because tonight's session was just mind-blowing for me. All right. Let me see another person's comment before we wrap up tonight. And trust me that this session on leadership theories will be coming to you every month. Mrs. B has told us that she would invest herself in these, and we are so, so grateful, Ma. Thank you so much. Thank you for this. So you would be having this leadership theory sessions with different leadership topic, engaging topic every month. Okay, thank you, Lady Anu Luako. I can see your comment. You said you love the part about articulating what we feel, giving a name to our emotions. Yes, that was really profound too. Yes, giving a name to how we felt, what was going on in our minds, like we could really speak it out. It helped us to think, to reflect. And I think Mrs. B spoke about that too, about being able to reflect, think back. That will make you know the level you are in this journey of emotional intelligence, right? Thank you so much, everybody. We'll still love to hear your feedback. You know what? I would like you all to do one thing and just drop a feedback on the group, on the on our WhatsApp community, and tell them, share it with them tonight. Don't let it pass immediately after this meeting, because you might forget. Just share with them on the group how tonight's meeting went, because if you share, that's also part of relationship management and social awareness, right? You're also sharing to people what you learned, how it went, and you also want them to be part of the next sessions, right? So I like you to share.
I wanted to
drop a
throw
comment.
something in there real quick. So your assignment is coming to the group. Look out, Dr. Bolu is going to be sending it in, because we'd like for you to make a plan based on this for yourself. What are you going to go immediately begin to hone, begin to practice as a result of this? Okay, so that's coming to you shortly. Okay, all right, ladies. Very nice hanging out with you and learning together. And we will see again. Well, we'll definitely see before next month, but next month we'll talk about transformational leadership. And it might be sooner even. Who knows? All right. See y'all later.
Thank you, Ma.
Bye then.
Bye.